Hello, everyone. Welcome to Jobber Radio Prediction League Frontline. We are here with a week to go, a couple days before Money in the Bank. Some news on that, some information about a survey, and really a Q&A. The point of this whole thing being weekly is sometimes we have a bit of off time, because unlike the normal Jobber Radio podcast, instead, everything's already set, and we talked about it weeks ago, so there's not really much more preview to do. So we put it out to the viewers. But we do have myself, of course, Scott, your co-host here, along with the still world champion, BeerMeJesus. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. For the record, I always like doing this on the podcast and stuff. It is May 6th, and here in Canada, at least in Ontario, stuff is starting to kind of maybe reopen this weekend.
Oh.
We've had some stuff. It's the COVID for those who look back on this time capsule. Stuff might be reopening, but the state of emergency might not. I don't know. As always, be safe, be careful, etc., etc., etc. But things are weird in my part of town. How about yourself?
Yeah, they are very weird, out of the norm. Everything's still pretty shut down. Everybody wearing masks,
Yep.
Yep, just out of the ordinary.
Yeah. I saw WWE shop are selling masks now, and they're going to be like available in June, and people are like, oh, it'll be over by then. No,
Nah.
no, the insanity might be, but the idea of wearing a mask won't be.
Right.
That's just going to be a thing now, I think. Under the best circumstances, they're still going to want you to be 2 meters apart. They're still going to want you limiting how many people go in the store. That's going to keep happening. 2 years from now, maybe we'll fill the whole arena. That kind of thing. I don't want to be thinking the high negative here, but I'm being realistic about how this stuff kind of works and how they're operating. They'll be risky with some stuff, but not with others. So, yeah, it sucks, and I kind of want things to get back to normal, but I'm also scared that it will too soon because people aren't ready for it. That's more my worry, that it's like, it's starting to slow down. Yeah, let's keep slowing it, make it even slower. That's my reaction, but we're not here to talk about that. We can do a COVID podcast, COVID mania, one day. But just to let you know, like, this is part of what we are dealing with while we're working on this stuff with Frontline and with the JRPL. So we do have, obviously on the screen, I do have Money in the Bank. It is this Sunday. The specifics of a few things have come to light. The Money in the Bank ladder matches the WWE are doing, they said they're going to happen simultaneously. Now, with how that operates for us, is we always have stuff like ladder matches, and specifically there's Money in the Bank. If you get a certain number of matches in order correct, you grab the briefcase, or you get to the top of the ladder, right? Well, how is this going to work? Well, whichever one ends first. If the men and women both grab it at the exact same time, we'll figure something out. That might be two in the same instance. But say Otis grabs the briefcase. Cool. The men's ladder match just ended. That's a rung. And the women's one is still going. That's the following match. Know what I mean? That's the only way to make sense of it otherwise, because simultaneous matches just makes it weird. The other main part of it, honestly, is when the predictions are going to go up. They're going up after SmackDown on Friday, so 10 p.m.-ish Eastern, because that way any final matches, any changes, anything, it'll be the most locked-in version of the card. That'll go up then, and then your predictions are due an hour before the pre-show on day of show. So, as of right now, the pay-per-view is at 7, so the pre-show presumably will be at 6, meaning your deadline is 5. If they end up skipping a pre-show, your mileage may vary from there. But it's always an hour before the start of the pre-show. If there is one, it's an hour beforehand just so we have time to work stuff out and deal with no-shows and stuff like that. On a side note of just the general insanity, are you looking forward to Money in the Bank, Beer? Like the actual show?
Yeah, I'm looking really forward to the Money in the Bank matches specifically
Hmm. That's
because yeah, it's different. It's new.
it's
I like
different.
that.
It's new. It's creative. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with that. So I'm always trying to be positive about stuff. So I want to see what they do. Best of a bad situation. Um, they were definitely trying to do something unique with this to draw viewers because they see their ratings, they see what's going on. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting, trying time. But that's why we're doing things like the Money in the Bank ladder match we're doing will be on the roof. I know there is discussions about if we're going to have the whole event on the roof because, as I understand it, the way WWE did it is the ladder match is taped, but the rest is going to be live from the Performance Center. Apparently, I don't know. So we always try to mimic how the actual show is. So will the rest of our matches be in the JRPL Performance Center, or will they all be on the roof? I truly don't know at this point. That's still being worked on. So, but the Money in the Bank ladder match will mimic theirs at least, and I'm gonna have some insanity. So maybe some cameos and stuff like that. So we'll see. We'll see. But as for the rest of things, like I said, get your predictions in jobberradio.com. Go there, get your sign up done, log in if you have to, if you've never done it before, whatever you want to do, join up, and you'll be part of the card. Put your predictions in after Friday, before Sunday. Like, you got a small window, but you want to go for it there. And just make sure you get them in to participate. If you are late, you will either no-show completely or have points docked, stuff like that. And when it's a smaller card, like this one kind of seems to be, 5 points can go a long way. So, but beyond that, we do have other stuff to talk about with the JRPL because we did a survey as well, which will end on Friday. The link will be down below. I do have a copy of the tweet here that we've done for it. It is a survey, 10 questions, to let us know what you think of the JRPL. What you like, what you dislike, what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of. That will be down in the description to click on to go in. The deadline is on Friday around SmackDown time, I believe it is. Or it might actually be the deadline of the this predictions deadline. I truly forget. I should be professional and know. But I know it's at least, like, if you're doing it for Money in the Bank, it's too late. So ignore this part if you're watching this after the fact. But just do it now. Just go do it now, and you're good. But it is, we want to know what you want, because if we don't hear from you, we don't know what works, what doesn't. We get stuff on our Discord, which, again, join that as well. But the best way to let us know what you like, what you don't like, is to let us know. And yeah, I mean, we've seen people come and go, and we've seen what people like, what people gravitate to. Some people don't even say anything. We've had a world champion that we never heard from, truly.
It's a true story.
And he's in the Hall of Fame now. But we never saw like tweets or Discord chat or anything. But some people don't do that. Some people will just comment. Some people like to predict, and the storyline's bonus. Some people love the storyline. Some people love both. But what we're going to look at today is what some people ask us, because we did put it out there on Twitter and in our Discord, questions for BeerMe and myself, because I'm part of the creative team. I have the character Scott, who's a vile heel, who did a promo saying that I am so good at wrestling that I'm considered essential services and should be allowed in the country from Canada to the US. That was before Florida decided that WWE is essential services, so I kind of beat him to it. But that is who I am. But I do a lot of the writing. I do a lot of stuff. I do obviously the video stuff with this as well, along with Bomber. But BeerMeJesus is, well, you can say what you do, but you are literally you're the world champion. You're not on the writing team.
Yeah.
You're not doing that stuff. You're just our headline guy.
Yep.
Not to undersell you, but you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. No.
BeerMe signed up. BeerMe joined. Won a lot. Like, a lot. Does stuff in the Discord. Does stuff in the Twitter. That's where it was. And just is the top spot. And is my co-host. So we have a bit of inside knowledge and just general knowledge. We've both been there since day one. You have been there since day one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. For suddenly I was like, wait a minute. Did you show up 2 shows later?
No, no.
But we know the history, so we'll be able to answer some fun questions here. I hope. But I've stalled long enough. It's been 10 minutes. Let's actually jump in here to some of the questions. Now, we do want to do this now and then, so please keep sending questions by all means. You can hashtag it JRPL Official or JRPL Frontline. Our Twitter is JRPL Official. And this YouTube channel, obviously, is the Jobber Radio Prediction League one. There is a Jobber Radio one for that podcast, but this one's specific here. But do send us stuff, and we can always compile these for next time as well. Most of what we got are from our own roster, because obviously they're the ones following it. They're the ones involved. So this will be a good way to do it, too. But what we have here, the first one is from The Warden, who BeerMe knows very well, former 2-time tag champion as The Solution. Inducted John into the Hall of Fame. He is not with us anymore. He has left the JRPL, but he's still in the Discord stuff. Like he's retired from active competition. He wrote, "Dear Scott and BeerMe, it's your old pal Warden here. My question is this: BeerMe, do you think you'd still be world champion if I was still in the league? And Scott, do you wish we could have had a long-term feud? Cheers, fellas. Have a drink on me, the Warden." Well, let's go to that first part. BeerMe, do you think you'd still be world champion if the Warden was still in the league?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, he did beat me at a house show, but I mean, yeah, I think I would be.
I like the fact of it there is very similar to actual opportunity in actual wrestling when you see, like, the biggest example here right now is the fact that Roman wasn't at Mania, so Braun got in and he's got his first world title now. Not saying that you got that opportunity, but you were a tag guy for the longest time, part of a faction, and you had a long-term thing coming with Warden that kind of got bumped up because the JRPL was looking to be ending. And we had that match early. And then he was gone after that. And from there, that kind of cleared the way. Like, that's not to say that you wouldn't have beaten him and gotten the title shot anyway, but he was one obstacle, just not part of your career at that point, that you were able to just move on toward. For all we know, you could have had a contendership match leading into it with him, right?
Yeah. And who says to know that, or who says that if he didn't retire, would I have gotten the next shot at the title? Probably not.
Your feud might have literally carried through for months. I know all about that. So you might not have even had the shot.
Yeah.
So I think that's a possibility of, like, you wouldn't, not that you wouldn't still be champion, but you might not have become champion in the first place.
At all, yeah.
Yeah, that's my pondering. You never know. Would you have had a title match against him by now? Probably. If you still won the title and he was still here, we would have seen BeerMe versus Warden for the title, I think, by now. Definitely. Or at least we'd be building toward it, definitely. He still seems to be eyeing that belt at the Hall of Fame. He's
I don't think he's really done for sure.
No.
But you never know.
It's wrestling. You never really are you?
Yeah.
I still like how you beat him at the end there, but I still started the cracks. I claim as a heel that I started it. I'm the one that retired him. No, I didn't. But that's the kind of thing you say, right, as a bad guy. Now, Warden's question for me was, do you wish we could have had a long-term feud? And for those that don't know, I was actually calling for Warden for a match in our Discord and stuff for, like, months. We did have our tag matches, you and him against Lee and I. But for a solo match, I said this before on Bomber's podcast way back when we did, like, Woody Talk and stuff. But I consider the Solution to be, like, upper tier. This is before I had any kind of inkling on, like, who was what or anything. I was just trying to get noticed and get in there and make a name. And it's like, no, like, you BeerMe and Warden are, like, top tier. Because you guys always win. You're main event tag champs at the top. And I always wanted a match with that. And we got ours. But with him, it took the longest time. Because it was never really...
He always said no.
Right. He always said no. He did, because it had to make sense. Or at least that's what he told me. It was probably just funny to say no. But then he's like, you know what? Let's do it. And we had a Falls Count Anywhere at Extreme Rules last year. And it's one of my favorite matches because I took the idea of a Falls Count Anywhere and had it never in the ring, and there was no falls. It just ended with the final move that happened. I even took one out in the bathroom. It was like, no pins. There's no falls in this Falls Count Anywhere. I wish we could have had more matches, obviously, because the program that you and I have had, that we continue to kind of have, is one of my favorite non-feud feuds. It's just this awesome rivalry that's always there. So, would I love that with Warden? Hell yeah. Did I beat him and am I happy about it? Yeah. Because that mattered. I think I remember telling Bomber too. I was like, this is one of my biggest wins, easily. It feels it. It means something. Like I've turned a corner with that win. So I thank you for that, Warden. I told him that too. Like it meant a lot. So, but that was a fun one. I think. What do you think about the mini feud that we had? It was pretty much just a filler match leading up to fighting you. I think was what it was.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
Yeah. I really liked it. And I know that if he's anything like myself, if he does come back, he'll definitely probably want a rematch.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that you've beaten me 3 times and still want more matches is pretty great because we have matches.
It is. Yeah. It's always fun.
It's so much fun. So let's see. Next up, we do have Jonathan C.T. Martin, who is a former tag champ and top block champion, one of the creative team members. He asked us 3 questions. I'll just do the first one, and we'll work our way. Favorite storyline you were not part of? Yeah, I'll freely admit I like my own stuff a lot, so it's like, oh, my favorite story is this. The favorite storyline I was not a part of. I'm not sure. What do you think while I ponder this? Do you have anything that comes to mind?
I like the whole. Remember when Bomber fired LJ?
Yeah.
Because LJ had tested positive for something.
Yes.
I really like that whole storyline a lot. And then like with the whole thing, because it kind of like went with Warden when he got into when he went through the windshield of the car, then he was in the hospital, and LJ just came down in the helicopter and took the title and left with it. I liked all of that stuff. That's probably like one of my favorites.
That's up there. It's hard, and I say this as someone trying to not be like, look at all the stuff I've done, but I'm like, I really like this storyline, but I ended up intersecting in part of it. It's hard when you like, because that's how I always tried to structure myself with it too, is to always kind of go after everything a little bit. I really, really liked, I don't know if you call it a story, but the run that Super Hippo had, where it became a story, like who can stop him, was one of my favorite early things, where it was like, this is just naturally happening. Nobody's stopping this guy.
The Legend of Super Hippo.
Yeah. I think that's probably my favorite, where that wasn't like a story that anybody came up with. Bomber just leaned into what was happening. And it was real because no one could stop him. I think that might be, as far as for that, a purposeful story.
Yeah, it's hard.
I do the one that's most fresh is the stuff with CT and Red and Adonex. Even though I'm kind of tertially involved because Infinity was blamed on it. I kind of want to say Jut Turning, but I mean I was involved because I'm the one who wrote that and kind of sprung it. That was
pretty dope.
Pretty awesome. That one might be my favorite, just for how that storyline worked. Because I was kind of like to the side, like it happened while I was there, but it wasn't. I had nothing to truly do with it, really. Even though my character claims he did, as always. But that's I like that question a lot because obviously I'd be like, my favorite was this. But yeah, it's good to think of other ones as well. So, the next one, most nervous you have ever been before a JRPL show. I can answer this one easily. The Royal Rumble. Because I knew I was 30. And I was terrified that I'd blow it and not win it. And I didn't blow it, but I didn't win it. That's easily it. I can actually say going into the match with Warden was one. I do remember that because I did think if I lose this, it's kind of ruining everything. Like the match with Lee, the match with Red, I wasn't really worried about those ones. I was confident, but I mean, if I win or lose, okay. Slammiversary with my X or Ultimate X match for the Canadian title was my first big moment. That one kind of worried
Yeah,
about.
that was pretty good. I like.
That. That's one of my favorite things I've done. I was worried about that one, but I didn't really grasp it fully. Honestly, the Rumble is the number one, but I'd be lying if I didn't say my match with JD Onio for the world title. I wasn't nervous because I knew that hell going in that was my only shot because there was not going to be another shot because it was going to be the last match. So nervous there, but I was confident on that more than anything. So I wasn't truly nervous. This might sound weird, but I think it was Takeover Blackpool last year going into Mania with Red. When I was facing, I think it was Nathan or Luke or something. Was one of the most nervous because I knew if I lost that, I was probably going to be on pre-shows for a while because Bomber told me as much. Because I was losing bad for a while.
Oh yeah.
It was rough, but then I literally turned it around where everybody had a bad day, I had a good one, and then I started to just get a roll. Thankfully, my character is a lot stronger now. That when I went on my 12 match losing streak, it was close, whatever, you know. So that might be the one, truly, because it was like I have to win, I have to. I think that was before he really, really saw the potential of the story with Red too. Like, because later on he was like, I admit I didn't get it, but now I do, I get it. So that was part of it. But really, the Rumble, that was. When am I going to get a shot? I might not even be in the Rumble again next year, let alone at 30. It was harsh. It was harsh. But what about you? What's your most nervous that you've been?
Oh man. I usually get nervous before every match, but
You do, and you tell me that usually.
yeah, usually I'm not really feeling too hot. Usually, if I'm feeling good about a card, then it's like that I don't do well. So, probably the world. Well, obviously won the world title because who would really know if I would get one again anytime soon after that? You know what I mean? Like like when you get that world title shot, you're like, well, I better win, or else where do I go? You know.
Mhm.
And another one was when. Match/show because one was when me and Warden faced UBC for the tag titles at Mania because Woody was facing Bomber for control of the JRPL.
That's right.
So I was kind of nervous during that show as well because I was like, well, we're putting our titles on the line and then Woody's going for the pretty much going to be in control of the company, which we were all like, yeah, we were all hoping that would happen, but we were all a nervous wreck. Those are like the two big ones I can think of.
Like, there's times when you're like excited, nervous. Like before our matches, I'm never scared,
Yeah.
but it's like
Yeah.
yeah. It's always because it's Impact too. So it's like I'm like, yeah, let's go Impact.
Right.
We're just excited for it. For those who have not been paying attention, BeerMe and I love Impact pay-per-views because they're so much fun, and we face each other on them
all the time, man.
It's so good. I remember you were nervous against Tino just because of what Tino has done.
Yes.
But I think you were more nervous against like Jut Jut.
You
were
yeah,
real nervous back at the Rumble around that time
Yeah.
with him. I remember that was rough. That
Yeah. Because UBC and Solution always had like a feud, and I hadn't beaten him in a one-on-one match. He beat me, so I had to get that back.
Mhm.
Luckily I did. But
yeah,
I was nervous for that too. You are very correct.
I remember that one. So yeah, I just had to bring that up.
Oh, and another one, Saudi show against 3J for the title, just because it's the Saudi show, and you never know what's going to happen at those.
That's
so
true.
I was a nervous wreck.
Saudi shows are notorious for that kind of stuff. They're usually pretty rough. Yeah. I've had some success at those, but never good. And I mean, I won on the last one, but I feel like I got lucky on that still. So, I think it ties in too. Like, I'm more nervous for like Ring of Honor shows and AEW because you're never really sure what they're gonna do. compared to others. So there's just inherent nervousness with those, but so let's see. Next, his third and final question: give 3 names who you think will win championships before the end of the year. Do you want to go first on that one, or want me to go here?
You go ahead and go. You go ahead and how about you give one and then I'll give one.
Okay,
We'll just
yeah,
alternate.
I like that. Let's see. Nothing
Someone who
against
doesn't have one.
nothing against JD, but someone's gonna dethrone him. It's the Road Warrior title. That's how it goes. Super Hippo didn't carry it forever either.
Mhm.
But that's more just who's gonna lose. That's not. Hell, I'll say myself because I kind of want to go after the Ultraviolet title, and I feel like I got a fair shot at it. So I'll say
Ooh,
me.
yeah.
I'll say me. I'll win
That-
one.
That's a fun title to have because you always get a stipulation.
Yeah.
All right. Since you said yourself, I won't pick the same people that you did.
Well, you can say if you agree, but then pick someone new.
I do agree. I think that you are. I mean, especially after beating Bomber, if you continue on the wave, I think you got a real good shot.
That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah.
I'm gonna say Vitamin Yes.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, because he does have a good shot at winning Money in the Bank, and if he doesn't, I mean, he's always got the tag division and stuff to fall back on and all that. So I think he's got a really good chance.
I agree with that. I said he's probably the most dangerous with Money in the Bank. If he wins it, he is your biggest threat. So yeah, I could easily see that. And even if he doesn't win Money in the Bank, I could see him easily winning a title for sure.
Yeah.
And for anybody who wants to go look in our Discord character chat, Vitamin Yes has put up JRPL wrestling face masks. They're pretty great. They're pretty funny.
Right.
One of them says Infinity sucks, I think it was, and it's like, hey, but it's pretty great. So, somebody else. Let's see. I mean, I don't want to just be like, I pick Lee, because I think Lee will actually get like the Road Warrior at some point. But I kind of think, with the way he's going, I think JJ Rocky will probably get another shot, and I think he'll win something.
Yeah, I agree. That was actually gonna be one of them that I was gonna say too. Yeah. I'm completely agree.
Yeah.
Just because he's off to such a hot start.
Mm-hmm.
And
Now,
like, they'll hit.
Yeah, he can burn out and never quite recapture that. That's possible, but if he keeps us this strong, he could super hippo it and just be unstoppable for like a year and a half. So, because no harm in being close. Like just because you're close, that means you keep near it. So that could be good. Who else have you got though?
Man. I'm gonna. Oh, man, it's tough. I'm gonna go with GMSG.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
he's a safe bet. I would say definitely.
I think the King of the Ring will be a good showing for him, and yeah,
Okay.
it'll elevate him even more up there.
For my last one, I'm honestly leaning toward people in like Renaissance and something like that.
Ooh.
Making a name or making a break for it. I think Tino will actually surprise people and not just win at like Mania or Rumble. I think he might find a way to get in there and win something. So I'll say Tino for my last one.
That's not a bad choice. I agree. I can see it.
Yeah. Who's your third?
I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna say Actually, no, I'm not. I'm not even gonna go out on them. I'm gonna say Broken Nerd.
Ooh, ooh,
I
yeah.
I think he's going. I think he'll be the one to beat Hero for that title eventually, and then I think you and him might feud down the road for it.
Okay, that could be fun. That could definitely be
Yeah,
fun. Yeah, I like
yeah, we'll
long
go.
term stuff, so yeah, that's a good bet. I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so that is from CT. That's his questions, and we do have Redhead, who's also on the creative side of things. Redhead 12 sent over, of all the people to have left JRPL, who are the top three people? Sorry, the top three people you each would want to return for one match against you. Now, we do have an inactive roster page, which is like 3 pages worth of names. Some were obviously there for a little bit, some there much longer than that. Um, we kind of almost already covered part of it because obviously I'd love to have more matches with the Warden. So
Yeah,
he's one of my three easy for that. I kind of already
yeah,
gave that away, but obviously, yeah,
yeah.
the
He'd be one
Warden.
of mine as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I almost want to say that's a bonus. We already said that. I almost don't want to
All
include
right,
that.
all right. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll just yeah.
yeah. Um, one that I will say is Lily Pilly
Oh
because
yeah,
I took her out.
right.
I took her out and it was bad. It was very bad, very bad. Like crowbar to the head, bad. I would love her to come back for that revenge because we had an awesome, 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 just constant hatred no matter who was heel and who was face. It was fantastic. So I'd like
Mm-mm.
Lily Pillar to come back. I think that would be fun for one last match.
Oh yeah, I remember when she debuted and we faced off for her spot in the Rumble, and
Oh,
she talked so much crap, and it was amazing. Oh yeah, that's a good pick.
mm.
I don't want to.
See, I'm looking through the names. We've got. Do you want me to throw some names out or?
I I kind of want. Okay, I know this is bad because I just picked the word. I want to pick John.
See, I was tempted by that because I never faced him.
I was supposed to, but it just didn't happen. And yeah, I'd like to face him.
He's one that I would love that because, full disclosure, I was debating writing something for the Hall of Fame where the heel does a thing and then just gets owned.
Mm.
I want to do that so bad where the solution takes me out or something like this, attacks me.
That would have been great.
I try to make to stir up shit, but then all of you come out. Oh,
Mm.
that's what you would have seen, but that's not for the first Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
um, John's one that I would love to face for that because it's one of those cases where when he was here, I wasn't that level,
Hmm.
but I am now. So it's like, you think you're king shit, huh? Yeah, let's go. So I think that would have been a fun thing, honestly. Who else for me though? Specifically, because I don't want to pick the same as you. I don't want to just pick the same names, right? So,
Right.
um, oh, there's one. There's an obvious one in there. I'm looking through the names, and they're saying some names. You're like, oh yeah, legit boss.
Mm.
Legit boss and I had. We were supposed to have our match at All In, and it was supposed to be with her as the world champion, and I was just challenging her. And what was awesome about that is that spun off from Slammiversary, where I was going for the Canadian title. I challenged Boss, who was in the crowd with the belt. It was just a cool thing. Crowd was up for it. And then Lee died, and I lost the Canadian title, so I went on my downward slope. And Boss got cashed in on and lost the world title. So we both
Yep.
rebounded back at All In, and that was where I think it was Warden actually, or yourself, that said that Scott could turn into the biggest face we have now as the
Yeah.
sympathetic face. And that's kind of what we did. And I I took her head off with a clothesline, and that was it. Like it was a squash. And I regret that because I wanted more than that. I wanted to have more matches with Boss because Boss is so much fun. So that would be my pick for another one, legit Boss, easily. Just because I never really got to have a good one. So yeah.
That's a really good one.
And here I am saying that, probably forgetting there was a second match somewhere, but you know what I mean, like a standout one. So,
Mm. Oh man, I'm trying to think here. Um,
Again, I can throw some names at you if you'd like.
yeah. Throw me some names.
Let's go to the roster page. People on the screen can see here. I'm just going to start naming names. Matt Zion, Woody, Luke, John, and it's just that's Luke, just Luke. I don't even remember Luke, to be fair. Sorry, Luke. Boss Crofty, the first, I believe, ultraviolet champion. Tagaby,
Yeah, be tagging me.
Alaska
Mhm.
Brown, TB666, the Warden, Banksy, Joblo, Victory Green, Otis, the Shockmaster, Jay Scott, Accelerator 27, Gourds, who died, like character, died. Oh Hi Joey, Bionic Knee, who I was like, oh yeah, I had great feud with him. It was just a fun match or two.
Oh yeah, dude.
It was
Yeah.
really really good. His I did like this 12-page promo. It seemed like, and then he killed it in like 2 lines. I loved it. It was great.
He
It was
did.
like, oh man, this kind of stuffed me down. That was awesome. Uh,
Uh,
we got Breaker, Adnex, Shavili, Nate Myers, so Imperium, Lily, the Hebrew Hammer, Baron Ash, Kyoko, AK, Frenchie, Voodoo Dreamer, Dr. Tommy Oliver, Real Deal JRH, Sling Blade, Wrestling Ferrara, and Jack Castor.
I think for my second pick, I'm gonna pick. I hate I hate to say it, and I hate to be kind of a homer, but I think I would pick Woody.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, and
Uh,
it's kind of like the same reason I picked John. Like they were both really, really good, and it's just being in the same stable. It's like, well, you never really knew who was better.
yeah, yeah. It was tough because I beat Woody finally, and that was like a 2 year gotta do it situation.
Hmm.
But I finally got him 1-on-1. I should have had it in that 4-way, but I literally screwed up and put Rhino instead of Moose. And if not for that, I had the match won. And I would have beaten
Hmm.
Bomber in that same thing. And I forget who the fourth was. Was it GMSG? I forget. It was an
Oh.
insane 4-way. No, it was Cyborg.
Ah, yeah.
And I would have gotten wins over all of them. Oh god, I didn't have wins over any of them going into that. So I was like, oh, it was so rough. But I went on to beat Woody and Bomber for that matter. So I was very happy about that. But yeah, he's a tough one where he was just so good for so long, and probably still is. Like he would be. Like there's no reason to say he wouldn't be.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely one of the bigger names there is as far as I'm concerned.
Hmm.
He's a very very good pick. What the heck is my third? See, I'm seeing, like I said, like Bionic Knee. I didn't really have a program with Otis. I faced a few times. Banksy, I never really faced. Tempted to say him, but then I see like I never really faced Crofty at all. I'm like that would have been cool. Or Accelerator 27, that'd have been cool. Um,
Yeah.
names like that was like, yeah, you know what? I would have liked that. That would have been neat. Um, I think, yeah, for I almost to be a bit different with it. I think I'll pick Crofty, just because that was one of the first champions, and that goes to almost my mentality of things. Like once you've held the gold, it's forever. And Crofty was like I think the very first champion ever. So that
Yeah.
would have I could make a story out of that. I could make something fun with that. Um, yeah, so Crofty would be my last pick. I think. Who do
I
you got?
I think for my last pick, I picked Victory Green.
Yeah, Victor Green. I
'Cause
faced a
he was
lot, so
Yeah, he was a top lock champ for like a while, I
Mhm.
believe, and yeah, I'd I'd like to face him. He was one of the best at the time, so
he's good. I don't remember if I ever beat him. I think I might have once. But that's a case where I'm like, I had 4 matches with him. I won one. It's it happens, right? So you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's Red's question. I actually think that was really good.
Ooh.
There's some fun stuff in there.
One more I want to throw out as an honorable mention.
Okay.
Joe Blow.
Joe Blow?
Just throwing it out there. He was Doink the Clown.
Oh yeah.
And the reason I wanted it was because I remembered the one YouTube comment where he's like, "Everybody better in the JRPL better get ready to be Joe Blowed," and I just lost it. It was like the greatest thing in the world. So yeah, that would have been another honorable mention.
I'm loading up Joe Blow on the profile page for everybody to see. He was 8-7, debuted at where is it? There it is. Backlash 2017. Went through to Elimination Chamber 2018. He beat Bomber in his first match. Let's look at Joe Blow's record. Let's close
Bomber
this
got
out.
Joe Blowed.
Let's closing this out and see who got Joe Blowed and who blew Joe Blow. And again, thank you for everybody for the questions. We want more of these because this was just a blast. This was 40 minutes, Beer Me. It doesn't seem like it, but this is like, what? This is great. So please send more of these. We'll do more of these. This is fun. Okay, so he beat Bomber. He lost to Mod Step and Cross in a triple threat.
Ooh.
And then he beat Buck. And then he beat Cam Popplestone.
Oh dang!
So these are names so far. Like, okay, he lost to Mod Step and Cross, but who cares? You beat Bomber, Buck, and Cam. Lost to Red. I'm okay with that. But then beat Junction.
Yeah.
And then lost in a triple threat to me and Banksy. Now, apparently, I faced Banksy at one point.
Apparently.
I don't know who won that. I don't know if I won that match or not. I'm suddenly confused. It doesn't have a hyperlink, so I don't know what that is. So I'm going to have to go look up SummerSlam 2017. I'm curious now. I'm detouring while we talk about this. Events. No, give me roster. I can look at my own. We'll figure that out. Okay, we'll come back to that. We'll close with that. Okay, so then he lost to Gords. May he rest in peace. But then he beat Bionic Knee and Sparkman in a Hell in a Cell triple threat. Who the hell is Sparkman?
Oh, man.
I love some of this history. It was like, what?
Yeah, I don't even remember who Sparkman was.
You see stuff like that, and you're like, oh, okay, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty fun. Then he beat Banksy, so he rematched and beat Banksy. Then he beat the Shockmaster.
Wow.
And then, in a triple threat at Clash of Champions, he beat he lost to TB666 and John. So John faced Joe Blow.
He did.
And then he lost to CM Carlito, and then he lost to Victory Green. And his last ever match was at Elimination Chamber 2018, a regular singles match, where he beat future world champion, The Finn.
Oh, wow.
And he left after that.
I guess he left on a high note.
I guess. He didn't even make it to Mania. He literally came in after Mania and left before the next one. So, like, his one-year contract was over. He didn't go for the big payday. I don't know what to say, so...
Joe Blow, if you're out there, I hope you return.
Yeah, we want you back. We'll rematch, because I beat you in that triple threat. I beat Banksy and Joe Blow in that triple threat at SummerSlam 2017. So there we go. Okay, I said... Who did I say? I said Crofty? Have I ever faced Crofty? No. Good. At least I got that one right. Okay. So, Joe Blow, if you're out there, you got 40 points in a match, you won 5 matches, you won a triple threat, you got 200 career points. Come on back. Come on back. The world champion wants you back.
It's true.
And that's the kind of thing where you'd literally see the world champion doing a promo, and I'm going to bring out a worthy contender. And it's him. He comes there like, oh my God, we haven't seen him in 2 years. It would be that kind of moment. So Joe Blow, we want you back.
And then he beats me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Joe Blow, put your picks in. You can come back. It'll be great. But I think we'll leave it on that. I think we'll leave it where everybody got Joe Blowed. That seems fair. I didn't get Joe Blowed. I beat Joe Blow.
Did.
But you never faced him. You never got to know if you could prevent being Joe Blowed.
It's true.
With that sentence, do you have anything else to say for this week for Frontline?
Nope. It's been a really good time. But, I think I don't have anything else to say.
Okay. everybody, do that survey. Do your predictions. Check out Money in the Bank. It is this weekend. Your predictions are due an hour before the pre-show. As soon as SmackDown's over, go to jobradio.com, put them in. You're done. You don't need to worry about it. You're taken care of. And if you want to make sure they're in, go to the Discord. Check them there. Check on the webpage. You'll see everybody's picks. It'll all be there. FYI, if you're in a title match, they'll be hidden just for safety's sake. But beyond that, I'll leave it at that. We will call it here tonight. Thank you again, BeerMe. This was actually way better than I thought it would be. Not that I thought it would be bad, but it was so much fun. I look forward to our Q&A filler episodes way more than I thought I ever would. So this will be a lot of fun going forward. Thank you again, Champ. We'll see you on Sunday. Good luck with the King of the Ring tournament. And I hope I see you in the next round.